Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio. Hello, good evening, welcome to Rangers Radio. I'm Southside, and joining me tonight is the Three Musketeers. We have Billy. How are you, pal?
I'm good, Southside. Good, pal.
We've got Jim. How are you, Jim?
Not bad, Southside. How's yourself, pal?
Good. And we've got the legend, Albert. How are you, pal?
Smashing. How are you all doing?
Aye.
Bad, Albert.
I'll give a shout out to the troops on the YouTube channel, William, Dado and Philip. It's on the night already. They're in the YouTube feed. And everybody else listening on Facebook this evening, welcome to the show. How are you, Billy?
Aye, all right, mate. Good to be back. Good to be amongst the Bears again and hear a wee blare about the famous. Just sitting here in the famous Rangers Radio studio here in a herbal tea, mate. Chilling out.
Good. Jim, how are you, my man?
Not bad. Good wee day today. So, and about it tonight with the troops. Hopefully talking a lot of few good callers in tonight, hopefully.
And my mucker, Albert, I think we've seen enough of each other in the last couple of days, mate, but how are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. I'm above grun. Any day above the grun now is pretty good. I'm happy about that, mate.
Good.
And we won. I'm really happy for that.
Aye, well, I'm going to come and just ask you quickly. We'll touch on the game on Sunday, just the three years since you haven't had a wee chat about it, and then we can move on and talk about the game tomorrow, which is most important. But I'll come to Billy first. Billy, what did you think of Sunday at Ibrox, mate?
Well, listen, mate, it was a victory, 3 points. With a lot of the football, which you could expect. Plenty of shots in goal. I think we had about 14 or 15 shots in goal, mate. Obviously scored 3 of them. And we had a couple of goals chopped off for half side. All in all, mate, early piece, I thought we done all right for it being so early under this new manager's tenure. You know, that's what he's only played, 2 games or something, you know. So, aye, I thought we done all right, mate. There certainly can be plenty of room for improvement, as we all know. So, it's onwards and upwards as far as I'm concerned, mate, you know. So, aye, good. Looking forward to the game against Hibs tomorrow night as well, mate. So, as I said, onwards and upwards, buddy.
Sorry to get said, I mean, if you see a message for that, folks, man, you're shocking, mate. Anyway, Jim, Sunday, what did you think the shape of the team and the sort of way we played? I know Robert spoke about it last night. He thought it was a bit like a 4-2-3-1, and at times it was actually like a 3-4-3. Jim, I don't know if you noticed that. It sort of kept changing shape at times, the way the players were moving about on Sunday. But what did you think of the sort of shape and the sort of team with Danilo coming back in?
I was pretty impressed. The manager seemed to be a wee bit more refreshing. As you're saying there, he changed it. He wasn't scared to change things. But I think that the big bonus to take out it was the subs that he brought on all made an impact. And it's not something we could have said over the last wee bit under Russell Martin. But I'm saying Easter Road's going to be massive tomorrow. I'm more excited about Easter Road tomorrow and then going and taking that lot on Sunday. Because I think tomorrow's massive. And if we can keep the feel-good factor going amongst us, then hopefully we push on from it.
Aye, well, that's it. It's all about momentum. Albert, we were at a game together on Sunday, obviously. we spoke about it in the way down, although we had no idea of the sort of shape and the way the team was going to set up. But
he's just simplified it for them, mate. It's just as simple as that, and it's just simplified. It's simple as pass forward, press, and hunt the ball down. Simple as that. No more complicated than that. And that's what they were needing, because I think their head was full of garbage with Martin. So they were all and I loved his enthusiasm on the line. If you watched him on that line, man, he was going to get off his dinger at times, and he's telling him to go forward. He's no accepting this Mincy passing about for the passing sake. He's not interested in that, and he's not interested in John Suter on the ball, touching the ball more times than any creative player or any of the forwards. He's wanting the right players on the ball in the right areas of the park. The way you do that is run, press, and hunt the ball down. And they were doing that. They were doing it all right, mate. They were doing it all right. Still tons to improve. I mean, we're nowhere near it, but you could see the big difference for what Martin was doing. If it was a simple game, it'd be difficult by idiots. I mean, it's a famous quote for one of the managers, Shankly, I think it was, and he's right. It's just, don't complicate the game. It's not complicated. Just hunt the ball down, get the ball, pass it forward, and run. It's simple. Attack it, and he kept saying, attack that the last line. When you get the ball, attack the last line. Don't turn back. Don't I'll try and pass through. No, you're on the 18-yard line and pass it all the way back to one of your defenders down the halfway line. Don't do that. He's not interested in that kind of football. He's interested in attacking football. Get chances. You don't create chances, you'll no score. It's the old lottery. You don't buy the ticket, you'll never win it. Carry on, know what I mean? So, just simplified it, mate. And I think it's going to get a lot better. Once you learn when to do the press, when not to do the press, what areas of the park, each team that you're playing, where their weaknesses are, what part of the you want to get them to, what you can bring them across to the left, you expose them on the right, what players are weak in the opposition. He's got all of that in his armour, whereas Warburton and Martin and all that, they've just got a philosophy of football with this ideology nonsense of how I want to play, and that's it, that's all I want to play. It's crap, mate. It's just crap football. Football is alive, breathing, it evolves on the park. You've got to go with the flow, you've got to see what's happening on the park. Whereas this stuff that they play with Martin and all, it's just boring, mate. Totally and utterly uninteresting. You could fall asleep at a football match watching that kind of football. So that's what I got out of the game. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I thoroughly enjoyed the win, and well deserved as well. So there's a few players who had decent games, no brilliant games, but decent games. Some of them who didn't show anything up to now is starting to show a wee bit. I'm not saying they're anywhere near where they should be, but some of them are showing a wee bit. But the wee boy at left back, he's instilled some a good bit of confidence back into that young boy, because he was definitely out of his depth. But the young boy stuck taking Saturday, getting tore in Sunday, and I liked that. I'm saying, there you go. And that's all doing to the manager, mate. And it's nothing drastic he's doing. It's just simple things, installing confidence in these players, and that's all it takes. And that's what I'm looking forward to, and I'm looking forward to it going forward. Tomorrow night. They're an established team. They've already proved over the last year and this year that they're not a bad outfit. They've got themselves sorted out. But what they don't know, and what's going to surprise them, is what we're going to do now. Now they're all scratching their head and wondering what we're going to do. Whereas before, they're all waiting for us, mate. They've all got a plan for us. They all knew what we were going to do. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow and then springing a wee surprise on them one way or the other, and getting a result, hopefully.
Aye, well, I'll tell you what to do. If you fancy just hitting the mute button, the manager done a press conference today. It's slightly lengthy. We were going to try and cut it down a bit, but unfortunately we can't. But what we'll do is we'll listen to what the manager said. We can go and get a wee quick brew and come back and we'll talk about what the manager said. And then straight after that, we'll get the phone lines opened and hopefully we'll get some callers in, if that's all right with you guys. So if you would all like to hit mute.
Can we drink beer?
You can have a beer if you want, aye. Billy likes a beer and all, so if you want to get Billy one out the fridge.
Yes.
Jim's driving tonight, so he's no chance. He's taking us all home, so Jim's no chance. But Billy can have a beer if he wants, and you can get me one and all out the fridge if you want. So if you want to do that, and then we'll hear what the manager had to say, and we'll come back and go through, discuss a few things. All right. So let's hear what the manager had to say.
Hi, Danny Kerdine, BBC. Could I just start with the big news story in Scottish football at the moment? Just get your reaction to Brendan Rodgers resigning at Celtic.
I'm honest, I know it's a big topic for everyone in the Scottish football at the moment. But you have to understand my focus at the moment, my team. I think we have a lot of things to do to make the next step tomorrow. I spoke after the game about the small step, and tomorrow we have a next chance for the next step.
Does it maybe say something about the pressure of the job here, particularly in Glasgow? Both clubs will be on to their second managers of the season.
I think the pressure is always on, for a manager. I think this is football. It's never nice when the manager gets sacked or something like this. We are all together, the manager in this business, but it's football. I think this is why we like this on one times and sometimes we don't like it. But for me, I enjoyed the last couple of days. I saw my group, the staff members, everyone is a little bit more smiling at the moment, and it would be good to keep the momentum now. And for this, we have to do a lot of things right tomorrow against opponent with good weapons. They're playing forward, a lot of balls behind, they have speed in front, and this is also the next challenge. And for this, we hopefully are prepared well, and this is what we have to do tomorrow.
Do you sense that already, that momentum is changing, that smiles are coming back, that something's moving in the direction you want?
Yeah, after a win, always you feel the positive energy, but we know we have to building on this momentum now, and this is hard working, because when you come from this period where we are, then you can imagine it's not always so strong. At the moment you need the next win, and then you build on this, and then you start to create more and more belief. And but it was a huge step from the atmosphere in the last 2 days.
Danny, it's obviously a really big week for the club. Hibs away tomorrow, then a big League Cup semi-final, your first Old Firm game at the weekend too. Not the man in the dugout you would be expecting to face. Martin O'Neill, of course, is in, and has said just as recently as yesterday that Rangers are no threat whatsoever with regards to the League Championship this season. How would you respond to that?
Yeah, of course we have big games ahead. Since I'm arrived, I think every game was big. The next one is always bigger than the next one, and but really my focus is on tomorrow, because we know where we are at the moment, also in the table. If you want to climb, you have to win games. You cannot miss one opportunity to win a game, and this is the next job what we have to do.
With regards to O'Neill's comments, do you hope that can maybe light a fire in the players and motivate them even more to try and prove him wrong and prove that Rangers are capable of competing this season?
I must say, today in the morning we sat here and I looked to the faces of my players, and I see there's a big belief now. I think they feel it on the pitch. I have the feeling they believe at the moment also what we are doing. The last days, of course, it was after a big defeat, then we got a good reaction. I think this is also important for players and for us to see after a setback you can come back. If you want, the small setback during the game was the 1-1, and we come through, and then we won, fully deserved the game.
Danny, that was your first experience of Ibrox at the weekend. Just speaking to Derek Cornelius about your play style, wanting to be a bit more intense, play forward a bit more quickly. Do you get a sense from that first experience of Ibrox that might actually suit the crowd quite well and what they want and demand from their team?
Yeah, at first, when you win games, then the atmosphere is always good. I think we create more chances. We played forward, but it was not the best level where we want to go, but it was a step forward, and I think this is important to understand. And then in some moments you felt in the stadium really what is possible in the stadium, and hopefully we have more and more these situations and the spirit in the stadium.
I know you said that after the game shape isn't everything for you, it's more about how your team plays. Do you think this squad has the depth to play with a back three, the right number of wing backs? Could we see a change formation shape from game to game at the moment?
We have definitely this depth of the squad to play this with three. I think it will be more interesting than how we choose the players in the wingback position, because you can do this with a fullback, you can do it with a winger, you can do it with asymmetric, one side this, one side this. I think this is a change, and that gives me also the opportunity, when you look back to our starting lineup on the weekend, maybe it was not clear if it's a back three or back four, and I think this gives me and my team always opportunity to switch the formation very quick during the game, and this is what I like. I call it always a little bit hybrid players. If you have players on your pitch, they can play both positions, then it's perfect, because then you can switch the shape without subs.
Danny, I think the chairman spoke last week. He said there would be funds available to you to make changes to the squad in January. I think there's a consensus that the squad still needs to be strengthened further. Looking at your own contacts you have in the game, do you believe that you know enough people about that can help you find the players that are going to take the squad to the next level?
Yeah, I think, of course, at first, for me it's important that I look to my players. They are here at the moment. I see now that players growing up, also in the confidence. You see it now in small-sided games when players start to talk. When I arrived, some players were very quiet, and now they start to talk. This is great. We will look what we can improve. I think I have a clear idea which players make some steps forward, and at the moment it goes in the right direction. I have a good team around me, and let's see what we can audit on it.
Will you fall back on leagues and areas where you've worked before, the networks that the markets that you know the best when you look to add to the squad in January?
Yeah, the January, I know it will be a topic in the following weeks to sit together, to bring all my notice about players together. I think this is crucial for me. In the last couple of days, I got more and more from my players to understand them on and off the pitch. And then, of course, we have to sit together and let's see what we should do, what is important. But at the moment, it's more about to give my players the space to growing up.
Has there been a shift? You talk about the players and some of them now a wee bit more vocal in training. Is Youssef Chermiti, does he fall into that bracket? Because that was a huge goal for him at the weekend, and to get the monkey off his back. Have you sensed a shift in his mentality and his confidence in scoring?
Yeah, for strikers, always important to score, and he scored. And today in the training, he had also some good moments. We had some finishing today. It was not possible to train too much after the 2 days from a game. But these are the small steps, what I told. We make small steps as a group and small steps individual. But now it's about make the next step, and I think this is very important to understand. We have to increase our limits as an individual player, but also as a group. And if we do this, then we are in a good way.
Seemed a bit of a relief for him when he scored in his celebrations. Is that something you've had to speak to him about?
I think a celebration after a goal is always important. I think you have to understand how you celebrate sometimes. This is then our part. I said this when I arrived. It's not just about improved players on the pitch, also off the pitch. You have to understand. But we spoke about this, and I think you know what is to do next time. Was a little bit emotional, but not more. For me, it was more important that he scored in this moment.
We're keeping his hand by his side then the next time.
Yeah, let's see.
What have you made in the short time that you're here of this Hibs team?
Yeah, of course, it's a short period now, and I'm honest to you, at the moment it's a busy time. You sit, you watch games back, you get watch games forward. Was a long night or a short night, it depends from which view. But it's very clear what they are doing, how they play football. They create a lot of good opportunities with a direct play and style of football. We have to be careful, and we have to understand how we press. I spoke with the players in which moment. And then this is always a good thing. If a team attacks, they gives us also a lot of spaces what we should use, and this is tomorrow exactly to find the balance. As a team who likes to have a little bit the transition moments in both directions. If you finish the action, then it's good for you. If you don't, or if you lose the ball again and you have a transition against you, then it's dangerous, and yeah, for this we have to prepare. We need a good rest defense. We need a good organizing, and if you do this, then we have a big chance.
I know all coaches look forward to the next game, but how do you think, when you look ahead to the semi-final at the weekend, the dynamics have changed as a result of what's happened at Celtic?
Yeah, I think ask me tomorrow after the game about this, because we know this, if we get tomorrow a great result, what we should do, yeah, this is the reason why we go there, then of course you go with 2 wins in a row in a semi-final, and this gives us a good feeling.
Last couple, guys.
Danny, you spoke about the table earlier on. Do you accept that if Rangers are going to try and get themselves back into the title race, that there can't be any more slip-ups in the league?
Yeah, I think the first challenge is that we get the wins in a row. I think we never did this now in the season, to get wins by wins, and if you do this 2 wins in a row, 3 wins in a row, then you can climb and you can close gaps. If you win a game, play twice, you lose a game, then it's difficult to close gaps. But I think this is the most important thing now, to understand a win, next win, next win, next win, and then we can look to some point in the season to the table, and then we see where we are.
Danny, how would you summarise your first week here at the club? So obviously you arrive last Monday, presented to the media Tuesday, fly to Norway on Wednesday, you play a game, come back, first game at Ibrox, and now you're preparing for your third opposition in 5 days. How would you say it's been?
Yeah, at first it's good. I see you more than my wife. Yeah, this is the first impression. No, of course, guys, it's part of our business. It was up and down, I must say this. When I arrived, you're exciting. You want to see the team. You go to the first European game. Then you feel straight. It's a challenge. Then you have a good game at home. You take a win. You know straight, okay, you can try this maybe 1 hour, and after this you go straight again back on the computer to prepare the next game. Looking forward, and this is now what we continue until Christmas, I think, every 3 days, and it's a high demanding, but every 3 days to win a game, it's also a good feeling.
Last one, Raman, just last one.
Can I just ask if you've made a decision on adding to your coaching staff? A couple of names have been mentioned.
Yeah, we are still looking. We have a short list now. I think this is important, and I'm also very clear what is the profile, what should be. For me, it's important that maybe a next assistant coach help me as well, also in the content. It's not just that we have a name. I think that should be the combination. This is very important to understand the league. In best case, it's a former player. I said this before. And the next point is that he can help me really also from the content on the pitch, because then you have a great setup.
Okay, thank you.
Any injuries for tomorrow? Is Antman available?
It's available, but at the moment it's a challenge here, and this is good. We need this. Yeah, we have to step up, everyone.
Well, guys, interesting listening to him. I'll come to you, Billy, first, and then I'll come to Jim. Kerridine, first question. I know what I would have said to that. What's the next question, Billy?
Oh, listen, that's what they do. You know what I mean? That's what they do, eh? They always try and steer the pot, don't they? Try and draw you out, try and draw them out. But he wasn't hitting any of it, which is good. You know what I mean? A lot of managers, mate, maybe just been only been in the door as short a time or short a period as Danny Rowe's been in. And maybe I wouldn't have understood the clarity of the question properly, and they were maybe just a drew in hook, line and sinker type thing, but he didn't. You know what I mean? Basically, he just says, "I right in the ball and that bat it into touch." You know what I mean? But that's what they do. Eh? They're famous for it. They're masters at it across the city. You know, if it's no the press doing it, Southside, it's, you know, Martin O'Neill for talking sake. You know, he's come out with trying to take the pressure off. They're brilliant at deflect and redirect tactics. I'll give them that. They're masters at it. But we need to be clever in that. And the manager there was superb at it. You know, he just brushed it aside, and rightly so. You know what I mean? Give him nothing to work on. You know what I mean? Keep them thinking all the time. I've said that a million times. So's Albert and all. Keep them thinking. Tell them nothing. The less they know, the better. And then the easier it is for the Rangers not to be prepared and to go out and keep them thinking instead of being us being predictable and we're gone there, etc., etc. And they know exactly how we're going to play, you know. But he done well there in that first comment, mate. He definitely did.
I would have said next question, Jim. Some of the questions were pretty poor, weren't they, Jim?
I thought he dealt with them very, very well there, Southside. He seems to have got the number right away, and he seems to know what they're all about. But he spoke well, and it's true what he says. Wins is the only thing that's going to breed confidence here.
Aye, well, if we've talked about it's about momentum, Albert, isn't it? Is if he can rack up the wins and then if he can put on a decent performance, he's not a lot of time to work with him on the training part. You heard him saying he was working on finishing with the strikers today, but only for a short spell. So he's limited to what he can actually do in the training ground at the moment because of the games are coming thick and fast, Albert. But how did you think he conducted the media there?
Oh, I think it was good. I think he did it really well, mate, to be honest with you. Really well. He's let them know in no uncertain circumstances. You're at a Rangers press conference. Rangers. And it's going to be about Rangers. Nobody else, just Rangers. And that's clear. Doesn't matter how many times they try to get them into other subjects. We all know the subject they want to talk about, but we're not interested. The big news in Scotland is the main news in Scotland to me is I bought a new orange tap. That's the big news for me, you know what I mean? So that should have been in the front pages. But they clowns, I mean, they're poor. It's just poor, mate. It's just looking for a reaction, looking for a stupid comment so they can slap it all over the place. Didn't wear it. He played it well, mate. He played it well. For his first real interview, I know he's had other ones, but his first real interview, I thought he played it well. He kept them online. They kept them focused on Rangers. So Rangers, it's a Rangers press conference, and I don't know many times in the last 10 years how many press conferences we've had, and it's just been about Rangers. That mob are always brought into the conversations. So brilliant, mate. And I thought you handled it really well, really well.
Aye, well, I'll tell you what, if it's all right with you guys, I think we'll get the phone lines opened there. Hopefully we'll get some callers in tonight, so we've got a lot to discuss. Come on, talk about the new manager, players, what we feel. Go to the first victory at Ibrox, and also we've got a big game tomorrow night and also a semi-final to discuss as well, leading up towards the end of the week. So let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Aye, come and join us tonight. Come in and give us your thoughts. It'd be good to hear different people coming up. If you're a first-time caller, you can come in and join us as well. It'd be good to hear you on. Billy, he mentioned about playing forward quickly, but it needs to be better. And I think we've seen that, and as much as Albert alluded to it, when we were talking about it out in the touchline, telling them to get it forward and get up the park. But he talked about that, it needs to be better quality, but you can see that he wants to play forward a lot quickly now, Billy.
Aye, it's all about composure on the football, isn't it? You know what I mean? Especially more so, seen the previous manager, he's trying to drum in a certain mentality or a certain strategy of football into the players he said. You know what I mean? They didn't know to stick or twist at times. And it was taken away, in my opinion, the football players, not just them as a football player, but taking if it's any football player, it takes away that natural ability of what they've been born, the gift that they've been born with is to go and play football. So when you look at it from that perspective as well, and then you look at what the manager's trying to encourage the players today to get on the ball, to be quicker on the ball, to move sharper, to make wee angles for one another. Do you know what I mean? To move the ball about quicker. Then these are all the things that we've been all screaming at for long enough. So he's obviously, what I will say is, you know, it's obviously very early days Southside, but what I will say is, he's obviously seen what we're seeing. You know what I mean? So if he's seen what we're seeing, then that can only be a good thing. You know what I mean? But I love watching the Rangers playing at a quick tempo, mate, and getting the ball moving about quick, because teams can't come to terms with it. If you're taking, I mean, for talking sake, when we're playing that last system, right, it was going to the two centre halves, to the two full-backs, back to the two centre halves. One would drop short, and it would go back, and then the centre half would come forward, and he would take another 4 and 5 touches in the ball. It's all pedestrian, and it's all slow, and it gives other teams plenty of time to set up and say, okay, then, is that the way you're going to play? Right, we know how you're going to play, so we'll just sit here. When you come, just do what you want to do. You're not hurting us. But when you flip it opposite way and start moving the ball a bit quicker and sharper and take less touches on the ball, 1, 2, maybe even 3 maximum touches on the ball, and you get the ball moving a lot quicker, it doesn't give teams time to get set up, and you start to pull players all out of position. And when you pull players out of position, you start to find holes and you start to find the weaknesses to let your players go and kill again, you know what I mean?
Aye, because we're not predictable, and I think that's a good thing about him, Jim. And I knew if listening to a couple of the boys at Sheffield Wednesday, when we first signed them, I heard a couple of them on a podcast, and they talked about he changes formation quite a lot, even in during games and stuff. He'll change it, and he also mentioned about hybrid players that can play in a few positions. And even some of our wingers like Gassama and maybe Ant-Man, although he was injured, they could play as like fullbacks. So aye, it's good that we've got different formations, but just need to get a better squad. We need to build this squad. It needs to be better, Jim. But at the moment, he's got to work with it, and hopefully he'll get some more good results going forward and get a bit more out of these players.
I think, as I said earlier on there about the substitutions, I thought young Moore looked a lot better when he was getting the free roll to go and do his wondering. But there's one guy I feel as if it's the way his systems are set up now, man, that we're not using it with the best ability is Miovski. He likes the ball out of the tap on playing on the last shoulder. Miovski's no going to drop and play a 1-2 with people and interlink. Miovski's game is getting away from him. And I noticed at the weekend there, he was making that move, and for whatever reason we were too slow to get that ball forward to him. I felt a wee bit sorry for him at the weekend. And I just feel sorry for him. My tactics are not playing to his best ability now.
He was pretty. I thought his hold up playing that's not been really good at times either. I get what you're saying, Albert. Do you think Jim's right, sort of ball at the tap, or do you think he's maybe a penalty box poacher that if we fire the balls across the goal, he's more likely to find a pocket of space in the 18-yard box, Albert?
His strength, he's both, but his strength is running after the fullbacks, mate. That is his strength, and that requires a through ball or crossball, whatever it is. But his strength, that is his strength. It's, Jim's right saying his strength is no holding the ball up and playing 1-2s. That is just no his game. But see, running after the shoulder a centre half, a through ball. The trouble we've got with that is, and the reason he's not playing well is we've not got any midfielders of the quality to see the pass, and play the pass. They can't do it, mate. They've got this mental square ball, carry on going in their heads. It was introduced with Martin, and it's just been drummed into them. When he does that run, he's expecting the ball to be slipped. All of a sudden, we turn inside or we turn away from him and square it, and then that's it. His run's wasted. Now he needs to get back into position. But that time, there's another 20, 30 passes we've done. It's mince. And the fact that Rule has actually changed them at the back as well, because what we forget as well, see the teams we're playing, they're watching us, and it got that slow and predictable that they knew when to press us. They're using our players to press us. They to trigger their press. Look, Suter gets the ball, trigger the press right away. And it's not only that, they know where to run to. So One will run to Suter, but the other 3 or 2 know exactly where to go and where the ball's going to be going. And that's why it looked so slow, so hopeless. The whole defence looked hopeless. You're saying they know exactly what you're going to do. It's mental, and the forwards are the same. He's making no runs, but nobody's got the ability and the sight to see the pass and play that pass. Just it's not there, mate. I keep saying it. Our midfield is non-existent. I know every department of our team is needing looked at and strengthened, but the midfield especially, mate, it's dreadful. It's absolutely dreadful. They're all right at certain things, and it's not a hellish lot, but through boys and quality forward play is no one of their games. It's just not one of them, mate, in my opinion.
No. Listen, on Sunday, Majowski did make a couple of runs, Billy. He wrapped for the defender and he made the run, but the ball never get played for deep or for the midfield, which he might have ran onto, like we were talking about, running off the defender. I still think it's early days. I think I think going forward, although we don't have a lot of time to work in between because the games are coming thick and fast, but listen, he scored goals in Scotland before, and there's no reason why he can't pick it up again. I think it's just about the team taking shape and understanding certain things, and hopefully if we create the chances, they will start to find the space. Do you think it would suit him playing as a 1, Billy, or do you think it suits him playing with 2? With Danilo, obviously, in the first half was up front with him, sort of.
I'm a wee bit... See, I would say in a 2 south side, right? But see, a 2 and like a 1-1 type thing, so you'd be like a 4-4-1-1, and you could take... Obviously, Jim spoke about he doesn't really think he can link up the play. That's the impression I'm getting and all. But it's no doubting he knows where the goal is. He's proven where the goal is in Scotland. You know what I mean? So I think if you played him right on the top of that 1-1, you know, and you had somebody else to link up the play there with a midfield that could maybe bring him into the game, that's where we could maybe find somewhere like that for him. You know, because you know yourself, Southside, mate, you played up front, I played up front and all, mucker, right? If you're making runs in behind all the time and you're anticipating that pass coming in, whatever way that ball's coming, you're anticipating that pass, and that ball doesn't come to you. You know, you end up, what happens is you stop to make a run. You stop making the runs because, you know, listen, it doesn't matter if I'm making that run. The midfielders are not going to pick me out. That's what happens. So you start to, you're not as mobile enough as you used to be. You're not constantly on your toes and on the move, you know. But there's definitely a way we could, or a formula we could get the best out of Majowski, because I like him, by the way. I really do. I like him. I like his attributes. I know he can score goals. He's at a cracking age. You know what I mean? All right, we lost all the goals last season with other players getting away, etc., etc. But listen, I think it's only a matter of time before we find somewhere for this laddie to play, and he could be the one we're looking for, mate. But you're right, I know. Well, sorry, Albert was bang on the money, I know. We need to get a midfielder that's going to like a housekeeper type midfielder that's going to hold the keys to open these defences. You know what I mean? That's what we need. We need somebody like that. And I don't know if I've got that or not. And I don't know if I've got it in any of the young laddies that's maybe not had a chance under this manager yet. I mean, we spoke about the laddie, young Bailey Rice, a million times, you know, and his attributes towards the game and how he didn't work and all that rest of it. And I've said it a million times and all with him, young Bailey Rice. I don't think that's in his DNA to burst himself up and doing that part. I think he's more just get the ball at his feet and he's wanting to pick passes. You never know. I could be wrong. Maybe he's the guy to play in that area, in that midfield in a 4. You never know. He could maybe be that very person that could maybe pick players like him out. Because he's depth, that's one thing Bailey Rice is good at. He can pick a pass, and he's great at the passes in behind. And you never know, mate, the passes that he can pick out, him and Majowski maybe click, if that's what happened. But that said, that's just my opinion on it, mate. You know, there's stacks of other options and everybody will have their own ideas, but that's just my thoughts on it, mate.
No, listen, me and all Bear watched Bailey for the B team and stuff, and he certainly can hit a 30-40 yard pass. You know, he can ping a ball, Jim. We watched it, but we always said his work rate wasn't good enough. He has to work, he has to run, and at the moment, listen, he might find his way into the team at some point or get a bit of game time at some point going forward. But now I think he's just trying to settle in. He's got a core of players there. And for me, Jim, even Bizrami, I mean, I look at Bizrami, right? I think Bizrami's a talented player, and we've not done enough out of him yet. He's been in and out. He's not in the European squad, so he's available for the league games. And it might be something when we come off a European game, looking at the fixtures, who we're going to be facing, there should be a place possibly in there to refresh it. Because I think Bizrami's that type of player that can play the through ball. I think he works hard. He done it in Italy. You don't play in Italy for a length of time if you don't work and you don't play to instruction. He plays with Albania, the Albanian team who all work hard. You've watched them playing on the telly and stuff and the Euros and that, and they all work hard, they all graft. And he is that type of player. I think he can play to instruction, but at the moment he's no featured in. He's been coming on, I think he came on as a sub in one of the games there. But apart from that, I think he's a player that could come in and maybe do that sort of role that we're looking for. But we've not seen it from him in a long time. But he's got a clean slate, Jim, and do you think he's a player that could come in and maybe do that?
I thought Bizrami's been a bit unfortunate we left out that squad, but can that maybe fling a wee name in there that could be that player as young boy Cameron? Thought he was very tenacious when he came on at the weekend there. I think the wee boy's been overlooked a bit, you know, and I think he could maybe do a job doing that, being that connector.
Aye, I said that yesterday, Albert. I thought when Lyle Cameron came on for the short period he was on, I thought he went and picked up loads good pockets of space, got on the ball, worked hard on the ball. I think same as Jim's saying, he could be the link that could maybe help one of their strikers get to apply goals, or he could start to maybe be a player, Albert, that can get in the box and go on the end of things.
Cameron's a Durant type player. I'm not saying he's as good as Durant, but he's a Durant type player. It's his timing, his runs and getting in the box. He's got that knack to get in a box and be free when the ball comes in. It's just he does it really, really well, and he has got a heart of a lion, the boy. He'll try his heart out. There's no way he's going to be hiding. Put it that way. He's a worker, the wee man. Whether he's going to be good enough and strong enough to play for Rangers, I don't know, mate. But that's the type of player. The player I'm talking about is a playmaker type. Like a two-guy, like a Ferguson, like a Ray Wilkins type player. People can see passes, mate. Take the ball, see passes and play them. Miovski needs that type player. I think Daniel's the same type. He needs that type player as well, mate. That's the forwards we've got at the moment. You've no got the big, the forward that can make a chance for himself, basically. You've got this type of forward, and you've got these type of midfielders, and the two don't mesh at the moment. They're good in certain systems and certain games if you want to do certain things in a game, but they're no the main deal, mate. They're no the main man. If you're one thing about this manager, if you can't run, you'll not be in Rangers for long. I'm telling you that right now. So Miovski, I see is towing a caravan at the moment. I like Miovski. I think he's a good player. I enjoy watching the boy on his game, but you need to be able to run. That's one of the prerequisites for this manager. He ain't going to tolerate anybody that can't run. First and foremost, you run, because that's the style of play football likes to play. High intensity, run all the time, get yourself into position quickly. No a stroll back to get in quickly. If you can't win the ball in 10 seconds, get back, get into your position. We're going forward, go at speed. Don't hesitate. No second thoughts of, well, I've retained the ball, better get back away. Not interested in that. It's all go forward, go at speed, pass at speed. And you're saying, well, that's fair enough, though. Good football. We want to watch that kind of football. We want to watch Rangers rampant. But to do that, you need to have the right type of players. And at the moment, I don't think we've got. So, what is he doing? He needs to play a style of football that suits this group of players. That doesn't mean this group of players can't win. There's nothing to say they can't. You can force them into a unit that can win games. You can do that. I said it right at the beginning of the season as well with Martin. You might want to play your fancy football, your style of football that you want, but you've got to first and foremost win games, and you've got to look at your group of players and say, right, I need to mould these into a winning team. That's the first thing you need to do at any club, not just Rangers, any club. And then later on, you can tweak away your squad. Players go out, players come in, all that carry on, and then you turn the squad into something that you want, something near enough to what you want, and that's what Roll did. But Martin was too stubborn. Roll rolls with the punches and rolls with the game. He'll change it. There's no qualms about changing it. There's no qualms about changing his formation when it's not working. Oh, I got that wrong. Change it now. Don't wait. Change it now. And I like that in a guy. I like managers like that. So it's looking well to me. It's only one game we win, mate. So there's nothing to shout for the Hills for. But at least it's one game that we might know when the other managers we've had in charge, mate. So for that point of view, I'm thinking it's good. But he needs players. He definitely needs the right players for the style of work he wants to play.
100%. 100%. I said, and I think we all agreed, and a lot of other people on the show have said the same thing, that it would probably take 2 to 3 transfer windows the summer, January, where you don't always get the players that you want, but you might be able to pick 1 or 2 up that might enhance your squad, and you might get one on in early, 6 months early, and you might be able to get a fee done, and then he's in, and he's had January to the summer to play, and then obviously you want him to kick on at the start of the season, and then obviously you do your business again in the summer, Billy. But no matter what manager was in, I think we needed 3 transfer windows, because this squad does need physicality in it. If you look at the midfield, if we were talking about it, and I've seen in the chat and the YouTube and that, some people are saying play Connor Barron. Listen, I've got nothing against Connor Barron, right? But if you Connor Barron, you've got Lyle Cameron and even Raskin in there. It's not exactly physicality in the middle of the park, you know. And it's all right.
What you're missing Snow White. No, I mean, let's be honest.
I know. It's no physicality, you know. All right, maybe tidy player, even Danilo going in up front and things like that in the team. We don't have the physicality. We need to get 2 players probably added into that squad, as all bears alluded to quite a bit on the show. We need physicality, probably physicality of somebody like Sterling into that midfield, but can actually play. Somebody that can dominate the game, get on the ball, make the passes. You know, we need to get a bit more physicality into that midfield going forward, Billy.
Aye, that's right. I remember the big boy. Oh, what was his name now? He played with Arsenal, the big fella. Mind he put Scott Brown right up in the air at Parkhead. You mind his name, Albert?
French player.
No, he was English, a big boy. Sure, he was English. Oh, what was his name now? Maybe the boys in the fiddle. It was a crack. Anyway, that's the kind of. I think he played it. He could play at centre half and all, but Walter played him in the middle of the park, I'm sure, at Parkhead. And I think they won 4-2 or something. Oh, what wasn't he? Oh, that's going to bug me now. That's got to bug me, that the big colour laddie's name. Anyway, that's the kind of player we need in the middle of the park as well. We need a bit of steel in there as well. But you've got to hear the right blend and the right mix. You know what I mean? In a midfield, you know, you've got to maybe two boys that can really play football, can open the doors, but they can also put themselves about, you know, and they can tackle and they can work hard, and then you can have two boys either side of them out in the flanks that are tidy, like they can drop in and they can cover as well and they can play a bit as well. You know, Stuart McCall type players. You know, that's we players like that, because what we've got to know, I think it's like watching England when they used to try and fit Paul Scholes, what you call him, Paul Scholes and Frank Lampard and Steven Gerrard into the same team. You know, they could no matter what kind of England manager came in there, they couldn't fit these 3 players into that one side, you know, because it just didn't work. So we need to try and get a nucleus. Obviously, you need a nucleus of football players in there that you can build a team round about, but you've got to have football players that's different to for different situations in the game. You know what I mean? You've got to have that natural blend. But you're right as well, Southside. It'll take a couple of transfer windows to get that right, to get the right players in. But listen, it's been a vicious circle, really, with players in, players out, players in, players out, managers coming, managers going out. You know what I mean? We're sacking this manager, we're getting another manager in, that's no working. You know what I mean? So we're constantly been going round in circles for long enough. So maybe that's kind of, obviously a manager will come in with his own thoughts, his own way of philosophy, his way of setting a team up, etc., etc. You know what I mean? But it's a breath of fresh air. I mean, for this guy the now. And I was quite outspoken against the boy, but I'll always give him a chance and I'll support him now if he's the Rangers manager, like, you know. But if he's going to adapt and change formations within the game, you know what I mean? If something's not working and he's going to have the football know-how to see things are not working in a game and to find weaknesses in other teams and change his setup accordingly to expose the weaknesses to make Rangers win games of football, then I'm all for that, like, you know, because I hate the predictability of Rangers at times, mate. So that said and all, mate, if we get that blend and that mix right, it can only be beneficial to Rangers going forward.
Aye, I think it's something. You think there maybe Kyle Bartley or something like that? Is that what you want to be thinking about it?
That's him, mate. That's him, Kyle Bartley. Aye, that's a big part.
Jim, I think in Scotland it's no too much on the eye that you can sort of play with this sort of squad. I think in Scotland, but I think in Europe in the last 3 games that we've played, it's been glaringly obvious that physicality through our squad, we need it. So I think in the 3 games in Europe, it showed us up that we aren't physical enough and we've not got the physical attributes to compete at the moment. In my opinion, we've not shown it anyway in over the first 3 games that we've played.
But maybe the word that we're looking for is that we're too nice. We've not got anybody that can put that boot in there. The European ones is the ones that were full right off a cliff in it, man. But 2 or 3 seasons ago, we were in the final, man. Now we're sitting bottom of the group. But we all know why we're doing there. And we just need to look forward now and see where it takes us. If we can maybe get a couple of wins in this Europa League and on, and maybe kind of gives a wee bit of a boost again. But I think it's on the home front is where we're looking for really the improvement just now, isn't it?
Aye, obviously, it's the bread and butter. And we're always keep saying the league's the most important thing. Europe's gravy, you know, and it's a good trip away for people that can get there and manage to go abroad and watch the Rangers. But winning in Scotland's where it's all about, Albert. So how do you think? Do you think Danilo scored Sunday? I thought he played not too bad. Player that's been well out the team under Russell Martin. I think he's a tidy player, albeit I think we've seen him last year when he was in with Czerny and Igaman when he was in the team and went on a wee run when we were scoring a lot of goals, and then he changed it back again. But can you think Danilo gives you the work rate and stuff? Do you think he's a player that could maybe keep himself in there?
I like Danilo. I think he's a skillful wee player. I think he's a good reader of the game as well, and he's got decent ability. And Siva, I think if you persevered with him and Miovski up front, they will, in my opinion, form a really, really tidy partnership, because Miovski will make the runs and Danilo will find them. That's what I like about him a lot. Is he can read the runs and he's excellent. I mean, we've done it a couple of times under Clement. He brought him on and there was Barjami, him, Hadji, all up front, and Igaman. And they ran riot, mate. I remember it was against Kilmarnock, funny enough, that time. It was 6-0 we beat them. If you remember, they ran riot, completely and utterly ran riot. And I remember McInnes saying after the game, we just couldn't handle their movement. They were everywhere. They were just excellent to watch, obviously. But it's that sort of football you're looking for, with the quality. It's all right saying about having players that we've got the new. But to my mind, no of them are not. They're not got enough quality to play that type of football. You can see with the Crows boys. The Crows boys are just hopeless. You know what I mean? They're no quality on it. Finally, that wee boy at left back got a good quality ball into Danilo. Bang, he scores, and it was a good goal. I mean, it was a difficult one to take, but it was a good goal. But the wee man, I think, could do you a turn. I don't see what he's doing wrong, not to get in these teams or these managers. I don't. It must be a training ground thing. I don't know. But as far as I'm concerned, he's no better, no worse than what we've got on the park up to now. So I like the man. I like him. And by the way, Southside, you have to check your WhatsApps. Big AK sent you something.
Oh, aye. He thinks this is Glenn Michael Cavalcade, but it looks at it. You just give out. So I'll give a shout out to AK, who is listening live in Lanzarote on his 50th birthday with him and his good lady, listening to Rangers Radio. So there can't be much happening on Lanzarote at this time of night if he's listening to us, Albert?
Oh no, he's got it all wrong, that boy. He's wasted. He should be back in Glasgow. We all should be over there showing him how it's done.
Aye, quite right. Just before we're going to the break, guys, Billy, your thoughts on, as Albert touched on just quickly, on Danilo. Coming in for the Cold, obviously gets a chance under a new manager. I thought it was a nice wee cushioned header that he scored. It's good for his confidence. So you think he's maybe keeping the manager's plans for the next few games?
Well, listen, he came in at the start of the season under Martin, didn't he? He gave him a chance, and then the new managers gave him a chance. So they must see something in him. He's definitely got. Sometimes he can frustrate the life out of you as well. He can drift out of the game, you know. But mate, back to what I was saying about playing up front, mate. Scoring goals breeds confidence. It's as simple as that. You know, you could go on a run and put the ball in the back of the net 20 times, and it doesn't matter if you're scoring a worldie, a diving header, a toe poke, it's hitting off your shin and going over the top of the line for a goal. It doesn't matter. It keeps your confidence going, and you start to fly, you know. But when you're no scoring goals and you're in and out the team, and then you're picking up injuries, then you know what I mean. You're getting a wee run out for maybe 20 minutes in a game, 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. You know what I mean? All these things have got a knock-on effect on any given player. And I'm not just saying this because I've got a soft spot for strikers. But that's a fact. That's what happens when you play up front. It's just, that's part and parcel of being a striker. That's what happens. But listen, he's definitely got something about him. You know what I mean? If he was one of the better Brazilians, he wouldn't be playing at Glasgow Rangers. Let's get that right. But listen, he's good in the air. That's one thing he is good at. I mean, he scored a goal at Livingston. Was it last season or the season before, I think? And he must have jumped about 6 feet high to get on the end. It was a brilliant header he scored. And then obviously he got that injury to his face and that, and it's obviously knocked his confidence all over the place. But listen, I hope he goes and kicks on, because we're all the same. It doesn't matter. We criticise the players, you know, we give them constructive criticism, etc., etc. But one thing we all agree on, we just want them to win, you know, and we want them to do the best they possibly can for Rangers.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. It's about winning games and that, and he's managed to get himself back in the team, Jim, and also gets himself on the score sheet. So hopefully he's going to get a wee chance under this manager. I think he's got good close control. I think he worked hard. I think he runs about. I think he picks up wee pockets of space. I thought he played no bad on Sunday. And obviously tops it off with a goal. And obviously the manager said he took him off because obviously he's been out the team for a good bit. But just quickly before we go to the tune, Jim, he's hopefully be an asset going forward to the squad since he's been frozen out.
Here's hoping maybe get a few goals in the next few games, starting them on a night, hopefully, then take it into the markets on Sunday.
Aye, well, we're just about to. If you guys would like to hit the mute button now, it's going to be time for a wee tune. I don't know what we're getting tonight. There's been a few requests, I think, but it's down to the techie team tonight, so we'll see what happens. So if you guys would like to hit mute, we'll hear the tune for this evening.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Aye, that'll be one of the tunes getting blasted out tomorrow night at Easter Road for behind the goal for the support. It'll be loud and proud tomorrow night, Billy.
Yes, it will be, mate. It will be. Let's start. I'm looking forward to the game tomorrow night. Southside, I really am, mate. We took a lot of positives out that game on Sunday there, mate. So, aye, looking forward to it tomorrow night. And I love hearing the boys singing, like, you know, they keep it going. I don't know where they get the energy for it. Honestly, I don't. But fair play to them. And a big shout out to the Union Bears there, because I just love them. Love them to bits. They just remind me of myself when I was used to bounce about Ibrox when I was young. Too old for it, too late.
Aye, like the Copeland Nutter, Billy.
Aye. Yes, we AKA. Aye,
Yeah.
wee pal.
Yep. Wee Geordie boy. Anyway, Jim, that's something I think it'll be different. Because I did say the other night, I thought the atmosphere at Ibrox, I know it's not been a great start of the season, but listen, it's about cheering on the team and supporting them. And the Ibrox UB, they were certainly chanting away as much as they could, but the Copeland Road, man, honestly, I've got pals in there and I've been telling them, man, he's why to get a grip in there and help and start joining in. Because when the Copeland Road sing, you certainly hear it. They were singing throughout the game, and it was filtering around into certain parts of the stadium, Jim, even as far across to the Broomland, who were joining in and stuff. But the Copeland's got to do better, mate. Honestly, they've really got to do better as one, you know.
If you hear anything come for the Govan stand, that's me singing my wee heart out. That's me.
I sit in the Copeland here, and you're probably right. It's no great. It really isn't. As I'm saying, the only noise you hear in the Copeland now is coming from the front of it.
What is the problem, Jim, you think, since you sit in there? What is the problem?
Don't know. It's not myself. Don't know. I don't know if it's this Rangers supporter in a hole. Again, I'm going to say something at the weekend there. We're criticising them and all the rest of it, and we'll give Kilmarnock a doing at the weekend there, man. And at the end of the game, man, you're lucky there's about 2,000-3,000 left in the ground by the time the final whistle comes. I don't know. I think a lot of times we deserve the criticism as a support we deserve or not, because they're not quick enough at getting out the door.
Well, I said the other night, the players were off the park with their lap honour before Danny Rowe had come right round the night round the stadium. When he came round Union Bears, and then he went up the west enclosure and was applauding them as well. It was still there, and there was someone still in the Brimlin, and obviously I thought he got another lap honour. You probably seen that yourself, Albert, before we met up after the game. Listen, it's been like that for a long time, but I don't know what the issue is. I mean, we've all been to Ibrox for many years and made it. I mean, the Copeland thing, you can certainly hear it. When they were in the Brimlin enclosure, main stand, Govan even, top of the Brimlin, we'd all join in when the UB were in that BF1. And I know there's maybe some people's noses been put out of joint because they've put them in the middle of the section in the Copeland, but I think it's time that they unite in there and start to make the Copeland sound like it used to sound like, Albert.
Definitely, mate. We can't make people sing. They don't want to sing, they'll sing. It's for staying at the end. I mean, we're in a Govan stand and we go to hang about because we go to wait the toilets empty, so we can do there with incontinence stores to empty them. So we're always right there. Final whistle, the players are going about. It's you can't. The trouble with it is it's going to be spontaneous, and you can't plan this. They're going to do it or they're not going to do it. At the moment, they're not doing it. But eventually, once we start winning games and start playing this exciting football and giving you something to shout and sing about, you'll find that the whole stadium will light up again. It's a two-way street, and the players have got to do it for us, and we've got to do it for the players. But what comes first? Well, sometimes it's the players that needs to give you something to sing about and shout about. So I believe it. I believe that once the winning style goes back into Glasgow Rangers, we'll be back again singing with hearts out. But and for leaving early, that's always been like that, Jim. It's no new. That's always been early. What is it they call it? The subway loyal. They're always away. You can't complain about it. It's some people go to do whatever they've got to do in their private lives. You never know. But it's just one of the things. It's always better together. It's always better they all sing together. It's always been like that. Then we blamed no standing. Remember that? That was the seats were causing people not to sing, which I think does play a part in it. We've never got that. That's another thing, isn't it? We've never actually got that standing area sorted out yet. That sort of died a death, isn't it?
Aye. I don't know what's happening in there. I don't know what they're doing regarding that. You can see them standing anyway for the majority of the game. But it's just something that's been sort of bugging me for a wee bit. We're trying to get the feel-good factor back, and I know the team's got to respond and give something to cheer in that, but Kilmarnock were hardly in the game, and the UB were singing, and like I said, it was spreading about the stadium on Sunday, but at the end of the day, I just think there's something underlying in the Copeland at the moment. That's no that they're no fully engaging for some reason, Billy. I know, but it'll be different tomorrow night when you're behind that goal at Easter Road. The away support are always different for the home support, and I've said that for many a year, Billy.
Yeah, you're bang on, mate. One of the time through Easter Road, mate, it was brilliant. The boys were everybody was all bouncing about singing all night. It was fantastic, But you're right. I mean, me and you for the wee chat about this, Mucker, about the Tottenham game. When the Tottenham fans were singing a song about 10 bob, shall we say, and I changed the words accordingly in the main stand. And the full place all joined in. You know what I mean? That's all it takes to get the stadium going. But I remember as well with Walter, God rest his soul, Walter turned around and he says to the players, he says, if Ibrox goes like that, he says, it's up to you guys, like Albert was touching on there, it's up to you guys to go and make something happen. Get the support to come ways. If that makes, I suppose it's even just flying into a tackle to win the ball, just to get the place going. You know, he says that's what you have to do. So it's the players have to do that as well, you know, regarding getting the support going in that. Because, listen, the players show that, we'll always go with them. We all know that. Everybody knows that. You know, that's just second nature. The players start to do it, we'll go with them, and they know that we'll go with them. So sometimes it's just about saying them accepting responsibility for it as well. But there's nothing better than a stadium rocking, mate. You know what I mean? The old days and that. It was fantastic. I loved all that. You know, with everybody all singing. You mean the all East Enclosure and all West Enclosure years ago, mate? You know, there was always one dafty. We'd start singing something crazy or come out with a cracker of a one-liner, mate, and the place would be in an uproar, and then the full stadium would start singing, you know. And that's just the way it is. Way back then, you know. But listen, it's maybe time for the old school to get back into the Copeland and give the Union Bears a wee horn out, you know. But regarding the manager as well, Southside, I thought that's twice he's done it now, and he's been out to the support and thanked the support and that, like, you know, he's not just plodded off, shoot cons and plodded off down the tunnel, a wee quick 30-second gesture, run about him and then walk down the tunnel, you know. I like that, you know. He didn't need to do that, you know. It showed a wee bit of class here with the manager, and he's trying to, you can see he's trying to win the fans over and try to bring the fans with him, because if he wasn't doing things like that, people would be questioning why he's not doing that. But when he's doing things like that, you can see he's trying to draw the fans together. He's trying to build something. You know, he's trying to get good energy within the stadium. And good on him for doing it, like, you know, good on him. We can maybe get him to get into in amongst the Union Bears, mate, and start a few songs. You never know, eh?
Aye. Obviously tomorrow night, Jim, if you look at the team that took the field on Sunday, it's probably hard to predict what sort of lineup. I think you could guess there'll be maybe 6 or 7, maybe 8 at a push. You might think should probably start. But how do you see the team? Do you think you'll make many changes, Jim, for Sunday?
I think the only change you'll maybe make is up the top. Again, I don't know who he's going to go with. He might go with the big tall guy, a bit of physicality, because they are pretty kind of robust at the back. That's probably one of their strengths. But I'll be interesting to see if he goes with the three, because. But the good thing about maybe the Mora is, you know, Hibs will come out there with attacking. So it'll give us a space. So it'll be an interesting formation. But as I've seen before, he's no slow at adapting. I think it's going to be a big testing one at Easter Road.
Aye. It's been a long while since we've been in an away game and kept a clean sheet, to be honest. So it's been a good while, and I suppose we've got to start somewhere, Albert, and it might as well be tomorrow night that we go and we keep the door shut at the other end.
Definitely, mate. Definitely. It's let's be honest with it. All these games, we never even look keeping a clean sheet. We still don't look keeping a clean sheet. It looks a bit better. It looks a wee bit more solid, but I still don't see as the real deal at the back at the moment. Again, it's something to be worked on. First and foremost, win the game. Don't care what the score is. Win the game. That's what we're going for tomorrow night. It's nothing to do with try to do any department perfectly. It's just get together, win the game. And I think if we stick together, what we did there on Saturday, I think we're more capable of winning the game. They'll do what they usually do. It'll be a big punt up to Boyle, and Boyle will run about mental, and they'll be fast on the transition, the breakaways we used to call it. They'll be fast. They're always fast. But But again, it's down to us. It's down to us. I think he'll start with the same team he started with on Saturday. I think he'll do the exact same things that he done then to see if they can do it again. Miovski might not put in right enough, but I think he will. I think he'll start them again.
What do you think, Billy? Do you think Miovski will start, or do you think?
Aye, I do. I'm with Albier on that one. I think it'll be the same. It'll be the same starting 11, mate. There are an old saying in football, as well. I know, if it's no broken, you don't try and fix it. The only thing it'll maybe, if the players have performed and he's happy enough for it, obviously he's made substitutions on at half time. Obviously at the weekend there he took Miovski off and put the big fellow on, and and obviously made changes in the second half. So you're always got to get changes anyway. But that said, mate, if the players have given him a 3-1 victory, you can maybe argue the case. Cornelius, the big boy, what's his name, the big boy up front?
Kermiti.
Aye. You could argue the point that he's scored maybe, he maybe got a start in front of Miovski because he scored a goal. You could maybe argue that point. You know what I mean? Or he maybe that could come into his thinking. You know what I mean? He's Danilo scored and he's scored, so maybe play the two of them together and put Miovski on the bench and maybe bring him on when it's, and maybe with 30 to go, 35 minutes to go or something like that. But listen, the Hibs, they're in transition and all, by the way. They've not got the same setup and all. See if you look back their last half a dozen games, they've not had a solid setup or way of playing. They've been tinkering with their formula as well. But, I said at the European game, I thought Rangers maybe go 4-4-2. And I was right. But as I said to Ox when I came on the show the following night, I went like, I says, I wish I was wrong with the setup if he got a victory. You know what I mean? But I think that's why he'll maybe go a 4-4-2 tomorrow night again. Southside. I don't think he'll play the way he played at the weekend there, mate, with the 3 at the back type thing. Because I don't think that we've got the how can I put it, the 3 players with the pace to play that system if they're wanting to hit the long balls and play the balls into the channels, mate. Because it would expose Tavernier. With no harm to the boy, I'm not bashing Tav, but he's not the quickest now, and Shooter's not the quickest either, and then you've got if you wanted to play the other big boy, then you maybe have an option there. But that said, mate, I don't think he'll go 3 at the back for some reason. I think he'll go a 4-4-2. It would suit me, buddy.
Aye. Jim, I think maybe Chimiti might start. I think Rocky Bashiri at the back for them and that physicality. I think we might look to play the big one. I think he's got a bit of pace. He's mobile. Possibly does his confidence a bit good to be getting the goal at the weekend. Anytime I said he's going to start in the European games, he started, which I thought he would. And I think it might be another game away for him there where we would probably start him and maybe put Miovski on the bench. It wouldn't surprise me, but that's the way I see it. I think he might start him. Jim?
I know, possibly, but I was a wee bit worried at the weekend there with the big Cornelius. I thought he got exposed quite a bit. I thought they kind of tried to go through him quite a lot. I thought he's judging the ball over the top of him and whatever else. I thought he get quite. He's another one, by the way, it's no showing an abundance of pace. But I think he maybe go with the 3 tomorrow night because I think he might try to swamp their midfield because they get quite a lot of joy. So it means that you maybe push your fullbacks on their wingers and kind of shut that down.
Aye, they might. I think it's the thing is we don't really know because he will mix it up. Albert, he's already talked about that. Do you think any of the subs that come on and made an impact could force their way into the starting 11? Albert, like a Conor Barron or a Lyle Cameron or Chimiti or any Arns, because we've got a lot of games coming up in it, so we need to sort of change it at some point, keep them fresh.
He could, mate, but I think the way he's looking at it, he started at 11 and he's seen it wasn't working, and at half time he changed it. I think that's what he'll do again. I think he'll start that 11 again and say, right, what's happening now? Okay, I see what's happening. We need to change this again. You've got to remember, by the way, we're 3 centre forwards scored on Saturday, which is highly unusual for us. As for the Cornelius there, Jim, that guy he was up against, he was a giant, an absolute giant, man. He must have been about 6'8". That guy, I don't know his name, but he's saying, what a size of a man he was. He's a huge guy. He can play right enough. He's a hopeless football player, but he can win a ball in the air. But I think Cornelius will come good, mate. I agree with you, but I think he's a bit shaky at times. But I think he's the best at that side we've got to the club at the moment. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
I think he's looked, Billy, I think the cameo he played at left back, I think he looked all right. He set up a goal for Majovski in the Falkirk game. I thought he did a decent game. He looked more comfortable there, but it's about settling into a centre-back position, and I think we really brought him in to play centre-back, Billy, on the left-hand side and no have him at left-back. So the left-back on Sunday, Magoma was decent. I thought first half he was really good. He got up and down and he was lively, Billy.
Mm-hmm. Aye, listen, they're obviously, when they've thought about bringing him, they've obviously looked at his adaptability. Well, I'd like to think they looked at his adaptability. You know, playing as a left-sided centre-half, which can also tuck in and play at left-back and all. But sometimes the problem you've got there is when you're playing, if you've got a player like that and the player saying to yourself, well, my preferred position as left centre-half or left centre-back, whatever you want to call it, and you play him out on that left-hand side, they've got a tend to start drifting in the way. You know, you'll know what I'm talking about, guys. You know, they because it's natural to them, because they've got it in their head, they want to play in that position as a centre-half. Whereas if they're getting asked to play as a left-back type thing, a natural left-back, for talking's sake, a David Robertson type thing, he'd be comfortable sitting there in that position and seeing everything that's going on in front of him. And obviously, if there are any balls coming out of the back or getting trapped in behind and all that, he would go run in there and tuck in and cover type thing. You know, so that's the only problem you've got there. But I don't know what his best position is, because he's looked all right in both positions. But you're right what you said. When he played at left back, mate, that could be his position. And if that's his position, and he fancies that position at left back, then we should be all right in that side. And then obviously we've got then it's the next problem. You know, we've got to find another left-sided centre half, and obviously a right back. You know what I mean? And more so again, you probably need a right centre half, because Suter's not going to cut it all season. You know, so I'm maybe getting off a wee bit off track here, so say, but we need to be honest, we need a full new back four, and hopefully Cornelius can be part of it. But part of that back four, that'll be up to the manager to find out and sit down with the player and talk to him and say, listen, I fancy you in here. How do you like it? You know what I mean? But only time will tell, mate. Only time will tell. But he looks a decent enough player. Listen, he's an internationalist. I'm sick saying that, the guys. You know, people can say, well, you know, but he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that. You know, you're not a bad football player if you're getting caps for your country, and it doesn't matter if it's Canada or Egypt or whoever it is. You know what I mean? If you're getting capped for your country, you must do something about you, just the same as Bajrami for Albania and that. So you've got to have something about you to get a cap for your country, because that's the way football works.
Apart from Scotland, Billy.
Nearly spat a beer out here, mate.
Jim, I think we've seen the way Hibs tried to play against us the last time at Ibrox in the Cup. They're trying to play balls over the tap, balls into space in the channels for Boyle to run onto. I know they've got some no bad midfielders in there, and obviously they've got the boy Bowie up front as well. And I'm trying to remember the boy's name in the middle of the park, but it'll come back to me. I mean, Hibs can play a wee bit of football, but I think their tactic tomorrow night is to play the balls in the channels and try and hit us in there with speed. So how do we combat that? Do we flood the midfield in the hope that we shut that down when they're on the ball? Or should we be looking to hit the aim in the channels when we've got wingers that have got pace in our team? And that's what I think we should be looking at, to try and exploit them on the wings. Jim?
Aye, but see on the wideman, I've seen a few comments on follow today about did they make any comments about Ant-Man today? Kind of negative comments? Because I've seen a few boys saying that they thought his comments was a bit strange about him.
No, he asked him right at the death. Look, it seems to be that these most of these guys that go to the press conferences, you never really hear now. Usually the first question after the first couple of questions would be, what's the squad like, who's injured, who's available? And he asked him at the end, is Ant-Man available for tomorrow? And he said, aye. So he must have been out injured on Sunday. And he said, aye, he'll be in the squad. Whether he starts or no or something will be different, but he said he was going to be in the squad. But I didn't think it was anything untoward, Jim.
No, I think what he's meaning, Southside, was that he's available. But he was available on Saturday, but it's competition now. That's what he was talking about. It was competition. They're all going to be under pressure to get into the team because there is competition. That's what he was trying to tell them. But he's right, mate. If you're not going to play, there's guys in there that are good as you. I'm not saying they're as good to play for the team, but they're as good as you. So Asgard and people like that, they need to really start stepping up. And they'll let it go for a while, as long as we keep winning. But you'll not tolerate it forever. These players really need to start stepping up to the mark and stamping their authority in this team, taking a grip of games. So that's what he's looking for. So Ant-Man's just one of them. But the thing about Ant-Man that I'd like to see, that I didn't know he played left wing back, but that time he played with his national team. He was man of the match at left wing back, and I'm saying maybe that's his position. Maybe that is. Try him in there, see what we get. At the moment, nobody wants to give him a ball out of the top of the full-back side. I don't know why, but running into grass, open space, that is his game, isn't it? Obviously, that's his game. But we don't seem to want to. Tav or whoever will not play that ball. They just won't play it. But it drives me crazy. You're going, yeah, there's a big gap now. Put it out of the full-back side and let them go for it. No, refuse to do it. It's old-fashioned football, you know what I mean? There's nothing delicate about it. It's just quite simple football. But we all know that simple football works. It just have to be complicated.
No, it's not a complicated. It's not a complicated game to play. It's a simple game of football. It's just sometimes teams or managers make it hard. But I'm quite looking forward to Danny Rule. I think he'll be good for us in the long term. I think he's got some no bad ideas, and I think the squad. I think we need to build a squad to help him, Billy. And I believe they'll probably make some funds available. And I think we all know there's a few players in there surplus. I know everybody gets a chance. So what do you think? When do you think Matondo's coming back, Billy?
Listen, that lad, he really angers me now. But just sitting there collecting a big wage, mate. You know, I mean, we spoke about this, buddy. You know, I mean, and I'm sure anybody out there that's listening that supports the Rangers that played football at all, you know, that was your dream, to play with Glasgow Rangers. You know, unfortunately, guys like ourselves never just weren't good enough to make that step. You know, but that was our dream, to play with Glasgow Rangers. I mean, you see guys like that. How can I put it to keep it polite? When you see people like that collecting a healthy or substantial wage week in, week out for basically nothing in return, you know, it frustrates me, because I'm like yourself and anybody else out there. I'd have played for Glasgow Rangers for absolutely nothing but the honour and the privilege to pull that jersey out of the top of my neck and run out in front of that your support week in, week out, you know. And he's got that accolade, and he's not doing nothing with it. And that's That's unacceptable as far as I'm concerned. But regarding, listen, doing that right-hand side, south side, we've struggled with that for a wee while now in that department. I don't think we've had a right-sided winger or player like that for the likes of Tommy McLean or Wally Waddle. You know, Brian Laudrup's type thing. You know, that's me going back a wee bit. But I said to you before, I know you obviously you touched on the manager's going to have a couple of pounds to spend. There's a laddie up at Dundee, and I watched him a couple of weeks ago playing against Celtic, and he absolutely tore them apart down the right-hand side. And he's a strong wee laddie. He's only 21-year-old, and I think he actually got man of the match. It was Cameron Congreve, the Welsh lad. He's only 21-year-old, and I think his transfer fee's only maybe in the region of 300,000 or something, £350,000. 21-year-old, you know. And I was watching him, and he absolutely he ran amok with the Celtic players. I'm not joking. They were doubling up on him. They were trebling up on him constantly for the full game. They did not know how to tame the laddie. And even when he was taking a clatter in that, he just kept on getting the ball, and he just kept on coming back for more and more and more. The attitude that laddie showed was fantastic, because that's what caught my eye. And I done a wee bit digging, but as I said, he's Welsh. He's only 21-year-old. I think he's played about 8 games or something for Dundee. The Rangers would get him for peanuts. You know, he's not scored a goal yet, but I think he's had about 5 or 6 assists in a poor Dundee team. You know what I mean? So he would be definitely one I'd be looking at for doing that right-hand side, mate. Definitely.
Aye, I remember you saying to me a few days ago when you were talking about it. You mentioned them to me. Listen, there's always be players out there. Sometimes they have one-game wonders against teams and that, and then you look to see how they do the next time in that gym. You know, we've got a couple of players in there. I mean, you're saying was he 21? I mean, we've got players at our club around about that age, you know, and we're not really giving them much of a chance. But obviously, he's getting experience, being up his take it he's in loan at Dundee probably. Jim, Finlay Curtis is another one that's not really had a chance under the manager yet. And I thought with Ant-Man being out and the subs he was making at the weekend, he might have brought Finlay on. But at the moment, he's still sitting in the wings, and he's not really had the nod yet for the manager to come on and try and impress him.
I just heard outside somebody talking about Curtis. He's saying he played centre forward. It's not a wing. It's no his position. He's a centre forward. I didn't know that. I don't know if that's true, but I heard the guy talking on Saturday about that.
Anytime we watched him, Bert. Anytime he watched him, Bert, he was on the wing. You know, he played wide left. But he certainly knows where the goal is, as we know. Albert, we watched him for the B team on many occasions. He'd scored over 60 goals in 2 seasons. He's a talent. He works hard. He's got good skill level. He's got good attitude, good mentality. But I would need Danny Rowe to try and find a place for him in the team. Obviously, Gasman and the Ant-Man obviously have played at a higher level over a period of time, and he's worked with Gasman before, so he knows what he can do. Ant-Man, I think, will become a good player. I think he had plenty of assists and scored goals for Go Ahead Eagles. So, Jim, I don't think... I just think I think we need to take the reins off him and give him a chance, the same as, because I think they were all restricted, Jim, under Russell Martin. So, looking for Ant-Man to start to kick on this season as well and make a big contribution.
Well, the two of them, the wee Gasman's the one I was expecting a wee bit more after the weekend there, with him having worked underneath Danny Rowe at Sheffield, I believe. The two of them came in and it started like a house on fire, and all of a sudden after a couple of games, man, they just went right off a cliff at the two of them. And it looked as if they kind of struggled to gain their confidence back again. But the boy Ant-Man, he goes away with his country, man, and bangs in 3 or 4 goals and come back and just doesn't look at it for us. But again, Scottish football is not the easiest league in the world. Well, people will just clobber you.
Aye. You want to see the homegrown players, Albert. You want to see Finlay Curtis break through. You know, obviously we
If they're
sold
good enough,
Rob.
aye.
Aye. When you looked at the left back and you looked at Jeffy at the time, and I know we've sold him now, but I mean Robbie Fraser was 24, and I was wondering why, when you looked at a few of their performances over a period of time, why Robbie couldn't have broke into the first team at left back and put in the performances, because we were struggling in there for a while, Albert, you know, in that left back position. And the young boy that's come up for Brentford, he has struggled in a few games, although he had a decent first half in Saturday. So I think Danny Rowe will give them chances, but Finlay hopefully will make a contribution, because we have to start rotating the squad a bit. We've got hefty games coming up every 3-4 days, and we will have to sort of change the squad Albert quite a bit as we go through for defence, midfield and forwards.
See, the last three managers, and including ruling us, I've always said age is nothing to them. It's he'll give anybody a chance, whether it's a 17-year-old or a 37-year-old. It's the age means nothing. You're good enough, you get in, and you're playing well, you'll stay in. And that's what worries me about our young boys, because they've got the chance to impress these managers. It's got to be at training, because we don't play anywhere else, do we, really? So there's, it's all there for them. And why they're no breaking in, I just don't know. I've not got a clue. But they're no breaking in for whatever reason. Are they good enough? Are they strong enough? I don't know what reason it is, but it's not the manager saying the managers we had. Clement said it. Martin said it. And this role, he doesn't hesitate for that. So it's up to these players. They really need to start stepping up to the mark within themselves to say, well, I'm going to get myself into this team, because I'll be honest with you, I don't see much in the team to put any of these players out. You go, oh no, you're up against it. You're going to have to try and move whoever out the way to get in. I don't see any position that if we didn't have a boy of any quality, is going to keep is going to held out the team. So you got to ask yourself, are they the right quality, or is it something else? I don't know. But it just seems strange that no manager wants to play them. So you've got to start suspecting it's got to be a bit quality in it. It's got to be. But Curtis, he comes on, he's a goal scorer, the boy, he's a good impact sub. I keep saying it. At the moment, that's what I'd be using him for, a lot more than he has been used for. Whether he's good enough to start games, I don't know. The manager will need to tell you that. We don't see enough of him to say yeah or nay. But one thing he has proved without a shadow of a doubt, mate, he has a good impact sub, and he knows his way to go. So, aye, he's an asset as far as I'm concerned. He's to be used that way. And I don't mean every now and again. I mean, on a lot of these games, bring him on, kill a game off, win a game for you, like he done St Mirren. Ends up getting you the draw at St Mirren. He's come on in the European games. He scored. I think he scored the winner, didn't he, a couple of times, or once at least. So he does know how to score. So, aye. But then you look at the rest of them. I mean, how many boys have we had at Auchenhowie over the years now? And it's sad. It's sad that none of them are making it. I know you're not going to have a conveyor belt or anything like that, a talent, but you've got to have more than we're producing. Or what is the point of the academy? I know it's another argument. We're going to have another argument now. Try to stick to the game tomorrow night. But that's the only reason I can see they don't get a game, mate. I'm not saying they're bad players, but it's the managers don't fancy them.
If it's true, and I don't know if it is, if it's true, Billy, there's a possible clause in the contract for Mikey Moore that he probably needs to take part in. The rumour is 20-odd games in the season. Is that something that might hold Finlay Curtis back for getting in the team then, or coming on as a sub where Mikey Moore come on at half time? Okay, granted he made a decent impact in the game, but you could have looked at it that Finlay Curtis could have come on at half time on Sunday. And if it's true that there's possibly a clause in there or whatever, he should get amount of game time, that's possibly that might hold Finlay back as well.
Of course it's going to hold the boy back. You know, it's no rocket science, Southside. And if there is there a clause in the contract, that's obviously been agreed before came to Rangers, right? We'll give you this boy on loan, but you'll need to give him game time, because we're not sending him up on loan if he's not got to get game time. It makes I totally understand that argument. If for talking sake, if we were sending, for talking sake, Finlay Curtis down to Liverpool, and everything was all hunky dory at Rangers, and Rangers were flying, and Liverpool, for talking sake, they weren't really firing in all cylinders, and you could say, right, we'll send you down Finlay Curtis on loan, but we want him to play 20 games to gain experience in English Premiership to benefit the player. If it's benefiting the player, then you've got to respect that, and you've got to accept that responsibility for that player, But when you look at the two of them, I mean, this laddie, Mikey Moores, came with this massive reputation. He's the next big thing in England, etc., etc. But when you look at, this is just my opinion, guys. I don't know what you think. In fact, it maybe been too late to put a wee poll out there. We could have done that. Who do you think the better player is? Or to me, Mikey Moore is, how can I put it to keep it polite and give the boy the credibility? Finlay Curtis is just as good a player, basically, as Mikey Moore is, if no better, mate. Because what I've seen with the two of them, all this, what I've been ranting and raving about doing in England, about Mikey Moore, mate, I've yet to see it in games. But what you're getting with Finlay Curtis is, he's starting to show it, and he's scored goals in that as well. And yet one's playing and one's not playing. So that tells you its own story, doesn't it? But you're right, mate. It will hold him back, mate. It will hold him back. Sorry to jump in there again, Southside. I don't know if it's is it just game time, or is it he's got to play a certain amount of minutes, or you obviously we don't know what's in his contract. Is it does substitute appearances count as well as game time? You don't know what's written into his contract. But for me anyway, mate, as I said, if you look at the two of them, and if I was picking that Rangers team on a Saturday and it was a choice between Finlay Curtis or Mikey Moore, I'd be picking Finlay Curtis 8 days a week, mate, and twice on a Sunday.
Aye. I take it, if you look at it, big Jack Butland, Jim, culpable on Sunday. A corner kick coming into your box, Asgard, Disney win the header, and the big game's found flapping. And I was disappointed for him, because I think he's been our best player, probably because he's been flung in at the deep end since the season started. But it just shows you he's prone to this over a period of time. And I know all goalkeepers make the odd mistake. I mean, Andy Goran came in at the start and made a couple, but you could count in one hand over a season how many mistakes Goran would ever make for you. And then similar when Alan McGregor was there for a long period of time, I used to think you could count in one hand the odd mistake that Alan McGregor made. And I suppose it's me. It looked like a bread and butter corner. Jim, what did you think of Butland at the time? Should be doing a lot better, eh? I don't know if Jim's on mute. Until doing a bridge, man. Maybe. Or maybe he's away for another can out that fridge. Albert.
You can't eat at the fridge. I'm at the fridge. Butland, he's having a decent season compared to what he was last season. Let's be honest about that. He saved us for more doings than we've actually took this season. But I still don't think he should be getting the praise he's getting. He's pulled off some brilliant saves, mate. He really has. Got to give him credit to that. But that one in Sunday there was. I don't know what he was doing, mate. If you look at it again, he's going up to get a ball, and if he does win it, he's got to take it after he a Rangers player. So the Rangers player misses it, but he doesn't know he's going to miss it. So he's going up there and he's challenging them. I'm saying, what are you challenging your own player for? You should be standing behind them, ready to sweep up any mistakes, which actually did happen because the Rangers player missed it. So you're saying you should be behind him then, cleaning that up instead of going up with him and try to punch the ball away off his head. It didn't make sense, but he's playing well. He is playing well. He's made more mistakes in his Rangers career than Andy Gorham and what do you call him, McGregor.
Marlon McGregor.
Combined, mate. Combined, he's made more mistakes. There's no doubt about that. I mean, Andy Gorham and McGregor didn't make any of these mistakes. I think I've seen Andy Gorham making 2 mistakes, and I think I've seen McGregor making a couple of mistakes as well. McGregor wasn't particularly good at coming off his line to collect cross balls. Andy would have a go at it. He would 2v. We shot stopping for the two of them was their game. No, I mean that's what they did. Unbelievable saves. We've all watched them doing it. Unbelievable saves. But Butland's done a few unbelievable saves himself, but he's made some real howlers. Sunday was another example. And I'm not getting him. He'll have to do because he's here and he's playing and he'll probably win the player of the year if we carry on doing what we're doing. Now hopefully there's people going to challenge him for that position. And we're going to have a genuine player of the year instead of a made-up player of the year. So but again, he is prone to a mistake. Well, all the Rangers players at the moment, they're prone to a mistake or two.
I think the defence, although they should have been switched on, and I probably expected either Asgard or Butland to take care of the corner kick it came in, and I still believe it was a foul to us before the ball went up the park and out for a corner. I believe there was a foul. We're beside you, Albert in the Govan.
He booked Suter. He gave a foul and booked Suter. It wasn't a booking and it wasn't a foul. You go, what are you booking Suter for? He actually won the ball and played the ball after the commander player, and then Clancy runs across and books Suter and gives a foul for them. You're saying, what's that about? And then they get a corner kick from that and then scored for it. You're saying this is mince. This is just mince. But look who we're up against. I mean, you don't expect anything for Clancy the cheat. It's just what he is. He's been doing it for years, and he'll carry on doing it till we finally get him out of the game.
Aye. I think I think the start of the more is we keep the door shut. Butland has to keep the ball out, make sure there's no clangers. Defence needs to be solid tomorrow night, and I think that'll give us 3/4 of a chance. I believe the intensity was better, Billy, on Sunday. You could see the players were more at it, shutting down quicker. All the subs that came on added a bit of energy to the squad. I'm going to be interesting to see. I don't think you'll go with the exact same team. I know you maybe think you might, but I don't think you will. I think you'll make a couple of changes the morning night. For example, I think Chimiti will start. Chimiti will start.
Who else?
I think I'll make a change in the midfield. I don't think Diamondi was that good on Sunday. And it wouldn't surprise me if he changed him and all in the morning night, Albert. Possibly, aye. Possibly. I don't know. What do you think, Billy? Do you think it'll be similar? Or do you think you'll maybe make a few changes? Do you think you could put a case up for Chimiti coming in, maybe for Majovski or a Baron starting instead of Diamandi?
Listen, as I said earlier on, mate, I think he'll go with the same starting 11 and then change it accordingly through the game. Or he maybe that's what if it was me, that's what I'd play, the same starting 11. As I said before, if it's no broken, then he try and fix it. You know what I mean? Where he's seen something with a starting 11 he's picked, and then he's new on to when he's tweaked it the second half type thing. Right, that wasn't working, so I'll do this. He's maybe saying, right, okay, then I'll go and start with that that 11, that I tweaked it about to suit that system type thing, or that way he was trying to play. But Kilmarnock is a different shooting match for what Hibs are got to be. You know what I mean? So I'm sure he'll done his homework, Southside, and looked at how Hibs. Well, as I said earlier on, maybe sounds as if I'm contradicting myself because I've not played the same formation the last 5 weeks in a row. You know what I mean? So they're all over the place. You know what I mean? So the more than night, mate, it's about what we do. That's the most important thing. It's not about what they do. It's about what we do when we go. It's how about we set our stall up. It's how about we start the game. It's how about we address our individual battles, win our individual battles, you know, our application, as you like to say. You know, when we get chances, it's about when the chances come along, what we do with the chances and how we start the game. Let them think about us instead of us thinking about them. That's the way it should be at Rangers, you know. But one thing we can't do, right, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again, we cannot keep starting games and giving away stupid, cheap goals. You know what I mean? And for talk's sake, a corner kick here at the weekend, and it's as if Big Butlin's waving for a taxi down Paisley Road West, mate. You know what I mean? We can't do these things. You've got to be solid, because once you start giving away stupid goals and making stupid schoolboy mistakes, you're just putting yourself right on the back foot. You're putting yourself on the back foot. You're putting pressure on yourself. You're putting pressure on yourself. You're putting pressure on your teammates. You're putting pressure on your teammates. You're putting pressure on the manager to try and address it. You stop these stupid mistakes, etc., and then you've got a chance of winning the game. Set up right. Get your concentration 110%. Bang on the money. Be switched on all the time. You know, encourage your teammates. Win your individual battles. Go out there and give everything you've got, and you'll not go wrong. That's it in a nutshell. We should take enough with the players we've got and what they've got to go through Easter Road tomorrow night and win that game. It's whether we can get that into our heads and go out and make sure we do that. That's the $1 million question. But as you know, mate, I've got a wee punt on the game tomorrow night and a wee punt on the game on Sunday. So I'm hoping for a Rangers victory in the next 2 games, because I don't think we've won back-to-back games since May last year, mate. So that's a start, a bad habit start that we'll need to get right out of our game if we want to move forward. We need to start stringing victories together, and we'll take every game at a time, mate. As that's the only way to be as a professional football player. Sorry, you know, you one game at a time. Win that game, move on to the next one. Win that one, move on to the next one. And you will hear a couple of hits in the road. We all understand that, but it's all about winning games of football. And when you start winning games of football, mate, it starts to breed confidence throughout the team, and it starts to build good morale within the group of players that the manager's working with. And then, as I said earlier on as well, the players start winning games of football, mate. The fans us as the supporters of the fans will always go with them.
Aye, always.
One of the reasons I don't think he'll play Chermity is just thinking about it. I mean, the big boy they've got at the back, that is his game, mate. High boys, that is his game. He wins a lot of them. So I don't think, I might be wrong, but I don't think he would say you play to his strengths. If you play Chermity, you're going to fire high boys up to Chermity. There's no point, because you're just playing into one of their strengths. I think they'll try and put Miovski and Danilo in there with the speed, the trickery, and the movement to try and pull them out the defence and then play around them. But I might be wrong. Yeah, it might be totally. I'm going to swear. Totally wrong.
I thought you. It was nearly.
It was a fool. I never fully threw with that one.
It's not like you. The thing about it is, I don't know. Timothy, I think, can hold the ball up, and I think he's got a bit of pace about him. Although I mean, we're seeing it in wee flashes. All better. I don't know if we'll play so many high balls up to him. I think you could play his strengths and play up to his feet, and hopefully have runners running off him. And depending on who you put in the midfield, and I think Danilo will probably get the nod again as one of the players up front. But he might not go with 2 up. He might go with 1 and he might change something different. He's not a lot of time to study Hibs. Let's be honest, the games have came thick and fast. They only came in last Monday and then we were straight into a European game and then we were straight into the Kilmarnock game and now we're straight into the Hibs game. So you might not have had a lot of time to have a look at him, but I dare say he is quite articulate and I think he'll do his homework. Albert, and I think he probably will have an idea of what he wants to do. He seems to be, for me, we've watched a couple of managers before and they seem to just stand about arms folded, no say much in that, but he looks like he's going to be on, shouting at them, roaring them on, getting them up the park in the early doors for what we're seeing him, Albert. He'll be an active manager on the sideline.
Oh, definitely, mate. Definitely. He's not going to hang back. There's none of this shrinking violet with him. He's involved. He's right involved. And he's wanting the players to do what they can do. Oh, as you say, he's not worked with them a lot. So there's no any great plan here. So we're looking at some weaknesses of theirs and some strengths of theirs and intensity for us. And that's what we're saying to him. Just get the intensity into your game and the rest takes care of itself for the time being. So get a victory any way you can. As far as I'm concerned, there's not going to be any great tactical stuff here. But I'm with Billy. I'm confident enough to say we've got enough to beat Hibs. Definitely got enough to beat Hibs. In fact, I will get enough to beat the rest of the teams that we've no won this season, but just fail to kill them off, fail to put the ball in the net. So that's for problems. So Saturday we score 3 goals. Let's hope we score 3-4 goals tomorrow night.
Talking about tomorrow night, we'll be back on at 6:45. There'll be a pre-show before the game tomorrow night, and we'll start at 6:45. And also after this, 10 minutes after the game tomorrow night, we'll be back on with an after show, just so people know tomorrow night. I don't know if Jim's still here or whether he's bolted to the boozer to get around in. Jim, are you still there? He's obviously must be getting the beers in for after 10. We're just about to finish the show, guys. It's getting to that time. First of all, Billy, I'll go for a score prediction. I know you've got a nice wee bet on the Mora and Sunday double, and it'll be quite lucrative if it comes in, mate. And I wish you all the best of luck as always. We always want the Rangers win, so if we get 2 wins, man, you'll be successful, mate. And your wee bet.
I'll be shoving Jim out the road to get to the bar.
Not to let you.
We'll both have a night out. I'll tell you that. We're a night out abroad if this one comes in.
Aye.
Looking at 3 days in the sun.
I'll have a wee quarter bottle. He's pocket topped up with vodka.
No, I'll be holding your jacket, letting you fight your way to the bar. It's over there, Jim. It's over there, Billy.
I'll just stay after the tequila roses, Bertie.
Oh, no more of them. No more of them. I'm too old for it.
I was struggling with them, Billy, the other week, yeah. On the tequila rose was Albert.
Oh, they're a nightmare, they things, mate. They're a nightmare. They're in the other damn Zambucas and all that, man. That's just. But listen, that's another story. We're going off track here. You know what I mean?
Aye. Score prediction.
I'll go. What will I go? I'll go a feisty 4-2 Rangers. What the fuck happened there?
4-2, Billy. All right.
Yes, I did. Sorry, did you? I thought something happened there, eh?
Aye, it did. I was having a whitey there when you gave 2 goals to Hibs. That's what was wrong.
Aye, a feisty 4-2, mate. That's what I'm going to say.
All right. Albert?
I'll go 3-0 to Rangers.
Take that all day long. Well, we're getting to that time. First of all, I would like to thank everybody out there on the YouTube channel who's been on the show, listening into the show tonight and participated. I'd like to thank all of them for joining us as always. We've always got a loyal band of people on the YouTube channel who come on every night. So I'd like to thank them and thank everybody else out there on Facebook and whatever other devices you're listening to the show on. and thanks you for joining us this evening. And also, just to let you know, we will be back tomorrow at 6:45 for a pre-show. I was going to say last words for Jim, but I think Jim's already gone. So I thank Jim for coming on tonight and helping us out, and it's been thoroughly appreciated. Enjoyed his company. Billy, last words, pal.
Yep, thoroughly enjoyed being back in the old East Enclosure again with the troops, mate. It was good to be on with yourself, all Bear and Jim. Thoroughly enjoyed it, mate. What a good points, debates, etc. You know. But aye, mate, thanks very much for asking us on, mate. And I'm looking forward to the game tomorrow night. And let's hope we can go out and get the victory we deserve, mate.
Thanks, Billy. Thanks for coming on tonight and helping us out, mate. It's thoroughly appreciated, and you know you're always welcome on here anytime, mate. And thoroughly enjoyed your company, and thanks for coming on. Albert.
Aye, good being with Billy, Jim, yourself, and the techie team. Enjoyed that, mate. Enjoyed that. So, looking forward to the game tomorrow now. And we'll do the show before the game. It's, talk about the Rangers again. It's always good talking about the Rangers.
Aye, can I just thank everybody for listening in tonight. Also like to thank the techie team, Fox and Old School Boy in the background, who do a tremendous job to keep the show going, and everything works perfect and smooth when they two are at the helm. So I'd like to thank them. We will be back tomorrow night, 6:45 kick-off. Looking forward to tomorrow night, Easter Road. I'm sure the troops behind the goal will be loud and proud, and hopefully we'll see a Rangers victory. Get us 3 points and get us up this table and put us into a good mood and a good, and also a good, I can't think of the word there, sorry. Just take the momentum right into Sunday when we get to Hampden for this semi-final, and let's get into this final. So as always, there's only one team and one crown, and thanks for listening. Take it away, Fox.